Hello and welcome. This is Diana and you are watching Holistic Vibes. This is going to be for the sign of Virgo. As always, take what resonates. This is for any placement in Virgo, wherever the planets happen to be affecting you. And you could be feeling quite drained, or you could be feeling kind of in the process of getting out of that cocoon phase, right? Like stepping into your own golden light. It's kind of like the understanding of the why you had to, how they're showing me the footprints prayer, right? Like the where you thought you were alone, but God has always been carrying you. And it's understanding like the wheels have always been predestined. I know it doesn't feel like it sometimes, because you can think like, why would I choose this, right? But again, it's all about like the how you're responding to the obstacles in which you're encountering. And because you can have shitty stuff happen to you and still respond in a way of, you know, thank you, God, for showing me my faith. Thank you for showing me I needed to lean in and that I have X, Y, and Z. Whatever it may be, right? Like there's always a state of peace that comes through. And so like where there is a sense of defensiveness, right? Where there is they said there could be like a lack of unknowing through the rebirthing process. Like it could feel like your truth doesn't feel like truth. I don't know. That doesn't necessarily isn't quite a desert, because at a certain point the blooms do come out of the cactuses, right? There is life in the desert, in the rebirthing. And sometimes it doesn't feel like that, right? Sometimes we can constantly like be in a state of loss, specifically if we lose people. Like we can always not necessarily understand the why somebody has left us, or why there has been this agreement, and there can be this like shift of it's almost like there's a shift of uncertainty through the lies that have been disseminated around you. And like when there is bad luck, like how do you understand that like the divine is putting you in a state of pause, right? So that you can then like reflect and have a shift in your motivational frequency, right? Sometimes we don't realize that that pause is just to ramp us up into the what God really has intended for us. And it's hard when we don't want to change, right? When we are fixed in our fucked up environment. It's kind of like when you are okay with being right where you are, it's really a troublesome place to be in, because you don't quite realize like that God has so much better for you. And the body is complete and ever healing. I welcome the idea of perfect health into my mind, body, and spirit. My mind is healed. My body is healed. I am perfectly whole. Right? And so maybe your reality is showing you that your body is sick, that you are not stepping into the frequency of wellness. If there's something that you're holding back from like actually speaking out about, know that you need to speak out about it. Like you need to not be quiet, because your body is holding on to that energetic frequency. And like, even if the other person doesn't acknowledge you, or the other people don't acknowledge you, and my candle went out. This one's still going though. Even though like they're saying that this moon You've got to have Virgo and Aries somewhere in your placements, right? And it's because it's affecting the way you're manifesting. And it's all about like the mood, the vibrational frequency that you are, that's driving your power, that's driving your power source, right? That is helping you manifest. It's essentially, you got to release the regret. You got to release the places where you've been sacrificing in order to step into your new beginning. Because the thing is like that lack of security, or the impediment, or the not being visible or being seen. They just said not being known, right? Like all of those things, they're showing me a pearl, right? And that refinement that takes place, even though that little piece of sand is, in there grinding and irritating the oyster. You have to understand, like you needed that time to come out and be polished. And you needed that time of self-seclusion or isolation, or the non-validity of being seen for who you truly are. And it's also like you had to understand the what hadn't unfolded, right? It's about the maturity. It's the nurturing yourself and those that you love, the ability to make anything be more beautiful, the practical and the wise advice. And so like you couldn't have come into your elevation of the what you don't want and step into what you do want if you didn't go through that period of time of the self-reflection, right? It's literally like you stepping into your queen of the Queen of Pentacles and the releasing of the ego. And it's literally like as your illusions fall away, you're no longer being trapped by the things that have been holding you in place, right? Once you understand that you're not this 3D reality and you can manifest instantaneously and you can pull your reality into you as quickly as a day, right? If you attune yourself in the right frequency, everything you can desire can happen and drop in your lap within a day. And it's like, get into a state of gratefulness. Identify the things that you've had to work through while you were in this cocoon, right? The cups that you didn't receive, the financial abundance you didn't receive, the how you expected people to help pick you up and you had to pick yourself up. Like, give yourself the honor of the journey, right? And it can be frustrating, right? Because you could have seen X, Y, and Z was supposed to take place and it didn't. Like, there's a lot of reflection to the visions and the misconceptions of visions. And sometimes God has given us like psychics, right? Or people that put us on a timeline and that timeline never comes into being, right? And we can hold on to a vision of what we desire. And that's really ego trying to keep us stuck. Because if you're holding on to a vision and it's not manifesting in your physical 3D reality, you have to ask yourself, like, why are you holding on to something that's not right in front of you? And literally pull yourself into the current space, current time reality. And as you go out into the world, right, be in a state of gratitude, peace, and resilience. And ask yourself, God, show me the pathway that I'm supposed to be walking. Put the right people in front of me. Allow me to truly understand and see what is divinely meant for me. Because in truth, a divine kind of love or a divine kind of environment is not going to take years to manifest. It will be instantaneously, because you then show yourself that you are aligned, that you're aligned with your gifts, that you're aligned with your vision, that you're aligned in your current reality. And so there's no need to walk in a state of defensiveness, because you know that God has caught you, that you have come through this phase unscathed, right? All of those losses were lessons. And so like, as you're moving forward, like, don't be angry, don't be resentful, don't be in a state of, they just said omnipresence, right? Like, it's kind of like making it way bigger than what it is, because it was just a moment in time in this reality, and it can feel like lifetimes dying, right? Because I'm a very old soul, you're more than likely a very old soul, and you probably have come across individuals where you felt like you had lifetimes with them, and for some reason it just didn't resonate or it didn't register, right? And show them the compassion through the energy that you're releasing in this last phase of your cocooning, because it's really going to be important, like, as you proceed forward, like, through the divination of what you're pulling back to you, and as you're amplifying forward, right? As you're orientating yourself forward, out of conflict, out of competition, out of a state of giving up, and you're flipping it on its side, right? And as you're now commanding, like, this is what I deserve as I proceed forward, these are the things that I want, this is how I'm operating as I'm proceeding forward, you're kind of shifting your frequency into the I am. And through that, you're letting go of the weaknesses that you've been holding on to that have essentially been feeding thought forms, if that makes sense. And so, like, as you lean into this, like, healing your mind, your body, your spirit, and understanding, like, you're gonna have to do some work, right? Like, there is things that you have to move within yourself to get rid of the stagnation of energy from the just being in the cocoon. You gotta move the body. You gotta, like, get your juices flowing so that way your body is feeling worked. It is a machine. It is a co-collaborative experience to get you into the state where not only you are in love with self, but that you are in love with what the divine has in store for you. It's kind of like that peace and resilience within yourself brings you into a state of royalty. It's like into a state of, like, higher form of mind. And, like, every time your ego pops up and tries to, it's like delineating your message. It's watering down the what you are meant to do, your desires. Like command it to get behind you, right? You literally say, devil, get behind me, you and all your thought forms. I command it. I'm not asking. This is not a negotiation. I'm over repeating these old thought forms. It is time for me to be rebirthed. Get behind me and feel your wings open up, right? And amplify your energy and step into the commandment of, like, the who you are and the what you're meant to be here for. It's kind of like dissipating those last little cords that have been keeping you in a state of Eeyore, into a state of Linus, into a negative Nancy, right? And saying that is not who I am. I was not born on this planet to be in that vibration, and I will not take that vibration with me as I proceed forward, right? You're naming and claiming your power. And it's like, they said that's it. It's literally you stepping into your divine power and allowing God to then show you the what's still trying to keep you stuck, right? Because again, like, these lessons that you guys are impeding or getting or seeing, it's literally so that you can then help another person get into divine love. Because at some point, you will be older and you will be telling your love story of how you came into yourself, of how you came into your own strength, of how you became whole and you allowed your partner to meet you in that state of peace, right? It's Luke 12:32, and that could be relevant to somebody out there. It says, "Do not be afraid, little flock, for your Father has been pleased to give you the kingdom." So, like, get ready to receive your keys, right? Just put yourself out there, open up your hands, and, like, allow yourself to be in a state of divinity, into a state of peace, into a state of resilience. And it's getting out of the mind and getting into the heart, right? Like as you get into the heart center, you then can receive what the divine has for you because you're in co-residence. And whenever you are assuming this is what I have to have is a lack, right? Needing, deserving, be in allowance and be in flow. And figure out the words that work for you that are going to allow you to have the security and the stability and the abundance that you have been manifesting. Whatever it happens to be, whether it's financial abundance, whether it's a new job, whether it's a new business, whether it's a gift of money, whether you are going to invest and everything is going to fall into place. Whatever prosperity looks like for you, like it's really time for you to allow it to step into and be open to receive. And the thing is like it may come from an unlawful place where you did not expect it to come, but don't allow your ego to shut it down. Allow yourself to be open to receive, as long as there's no strings attached and as long as you feel good about the energetic frequency you're in, right? What is for you is meant for you. That's it. So just take a moment and let's ground your energy. Just identify and see if any of those energies, if there's any lack, limitation, impediment. Scan the body. Open up the core. And let's open up that solar plex. And let's pull in some tangerine orange. And allow it to transmute any energies that are dense, that are dark, that are impeded, that have any holes in the auric field, that have any hooks, lures, tears, or impediments. Take a deep breath, fully exhaling, allowing your body to shift, opening up your wings, decalcifying your pineal gland. Allowing your voice to recalibrate to the frequency that is best for you. Please remember that there is nobody in this world like you. You have a song you need to sing. You have an impact for an individual that you're supposed to come across. Ask God to move through you so that you can help the greater collective. Because as you change your environment, so you help change the world. Until next time, be well. If you would like a reading or a healing, all the information is below. And until next time, ciao.